consideration of our aviation strategy in Dublin Airport particularly, what consideration is given for climate emissions by the Minister? How does he integrate that into the decision-making process in what has been done, in the investment projects or in the strategy that he's following?
Okay, let me answer the first ones from Deputy Munster and Deputy Ryan. The issue that Deputy Munster raised, yeah, I think you mentioned the trades unions and various other groups were opposed to it. Well, there have been some people taken. I did not mention the trades unions. I actually haven't heard any response from anybody in the trades unions to this. Maybe they have issued a statement. I haven't seen it. No, but okay. Well, let's say they are key stakeholders, and I presume they will have an interest, and they will be consulted with, as will all the airlines. All people who are interested in making submissions should do so, wherever they come from. That will include, obviously, the DAA, the Ryanair, Aer Lingus, other groups who have interests, and we will take those into account. Of course, we will. That's what this is. The consultation process is for. That's what the report was for. And yeah, and Deputy Ryan's question. The consultants were told to take into account government policies when making the report.
Supplementaries. First of all, Deputy Munster, supplementary.
Minister, he ignored the rail review over the past 2 years, and that was urgent. It was flagged up numerous times that there were serious safety concerns around it. And you know, this project, this pet project of yours, it isn't urgent. So I'm wondering why is it the enthusiasm, and why are you rushing it? But also, I know Deputy Troy had asked it earlier too, that for you to provide details of lobbying efforts for third terminal and meetings or other interactions that you've had between lobbyists and your office and your department on this. Now, as you did say in your response that you wouldn't have an issue meeting with it, but you didn't clarify whether you've actually met with lobbyists in relation to this as yet. I wonder if you could confirm that, please.
Yeah, I will certainly confirm. Sorry.
I would be keen for the Minister to give more details in his response there in terms of how he or his department takes into account climate change implications of transport policies that they're applying, given that this is first priority for the government, as the Taoiseach says. The international reports are significant. You mentioned, Minister, that the consultants look at overall policy, or does the department in specific projects take into account climate change, climate emissions impacts of it?
Well, Minister, perhaps you could identify who you've met, what private stakeholders you've met in relation to the future development of the airport. DAA themselves will say it's not needed. Ryanair, the largest operator at Dublin Airport, will say it's not a priority now. Aircraft stands and taxi runways and the second runway to be up and operational is a priority now. Aer Lingus, who's operating a very successful hub, say it's not a priority now. Everyone seems to think it's not a priority, only yourself. And you said in your reply to me earlier on that you need to be long-term planning in relation to Dublin Airport. Can I ask, how are the plans coming along in relation to the independent competent authority in relation to noise regulation? Because the plans have been so bad. And you failed to say earlier on whether you stand by your decision in relation to appointing Fingal County Council. How many other countries have appointed the local authority to be the independent competent authority? And will you adhere to your most recent time frame as to have the competent authority put on a statutory basis by the end of this year?
You have a minute to answer all three questions. Okay,
let me answer first of all Robert Troy's one, because Deputy Troy's one. I have absolutely no hesitation in saying that we stand by Fingal. That will go ahead. The legislation should be introduced this month, and we think we will deliver on schedule. There is absolutely no slippage in the timetable there. We will deliver by 2021. I think it's March 2021, and the runway will be in operation by the end of 2021, as envisaged. That's the first question. In answer to Deputy Ryan, well, look, Deputy Ryan, I did answer that question. In regard to the consultants, they were told to consider everything in line with government policy. All right? That is what they were told, to consider government policy when they were making their report, and that any recommendations they made could not contradict government policy. That is a very reasonable assertion for them to make. The third one from Deputy Munster, yeah, I mean, there will be opposition. Of course there will. There will be parties who won't be in favour of it. There will be others who are. I have met several groups of people. I've met in recent months, I don't know how recently, I've met virtually all the airlines. I've met the Macavatti brothers 2 years ago, but I haven't seen them since. I've met the airlines more recently. I met the DAA. I met the DAA on frequent occasions, and all their views, if they wish to make them during the public consultation, will be taken into account. But there will have to be a process, a legitimate procurement process, if this goes ahead. But that's not even been decided on. All we're doing at the moment is consulting on the basis of this report, which makes various suggestions about an independent terminal or not.